In this piano tutorial, I want to share a short exercise that I like using to practice a different approach to the 5-to-1 progression, right? In this case, the 5, I'm considering it as a dominant chord, and the 1 would be a regular chord, right? So let's say we are in the key of C major. The 5 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a G. Let's make that dominant, and then we resolve it to a C, right? So that's that 5-to-1 relationship. You can also find this relationship when we consider secondary dominants as well. So what I mean by that is, let's say we were going from the 2 to the 5. That's also a 5-to-1 relationship when we play the 2 as a dominant chord. And you can hear this in different songs. For example, let's say Waymaker, for example, right? Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper. Here it comes, light in the 2-5, right? It's a different 5-to-1 progression. It's not necessarily the 5 and the 1, but it's a secondary dominant going to the or resolving into the 1. Okay. You can also see this relationship when we go from the 1 to the 4. For example, in the song Revelation 19:1, it goes from the 1, hallelujah, right? That dominant chord, hallelujah, to the 4, salvation, then the 7, and then it continues on. So yeah, this exercise, it basically helps me practice a different voicing that I'm going to share now. And it's really good for muscle memory as well as expanding our musical vocabulary. So we're actually going to start off on C major. We're going to start off on the 5. And the voicing that we're going to use is actually this one right here. Right? So our dominant note, or our minor 7 for the 5, it's going to be our first note down here. Then our third is going to be our second note right here, right? So our B, which is the third of G, is up here, and you can see it's a tritone, that F tritone. And what I like about this chord right here is that you can feel that dissonance or that tension, which actually releases when we go to the 1. So this is the 5, and then this is the 1, and you can see that the F wants to go down to that C, and the B wants to go up to that C. So, and then our right hand is simply playing the G, and then it resolves into this C sus2, right? So together it would be something like this. Right, so it's giving us two different voicings that maybe most of us do not know or haven't used before. So that's that relationship between the 5 and the 1. Now, how do I continue this to practice it in other keys, right? And this is where the exercise comes in, and it might involve a little bit more thinking, but my recommendation is for you guys to take it slowly, right? So we start off on G, we resolve to C. Now we're simply going to move down chromatically, right? Instead of starting off on G, we're actually going to start off on F sharp or G flat, right? And then we resolve it to the next note, or the 1. If F sharp is the 5, the 1 would be a B, right? And a small trick that I like using to sort of make it more muscle memory is I leave this bass note here and I simply think about the tritone, right? Which would be B flat. And then I go down to the next chord, which is F sharp, okay? So then we resolve, then we repeat the same process. We go down now to F, to B flat, right? Then we repeat the process now is E. We're just going down chromatically, okay? Now instead of E, it's E flat. Then it's D. Then it's C or D flat. Then it's C. Then it's B. Right, and so on and so forth, okay? B flat, E flat, A to D, A flat to C sharp or D flat, and then we're back on that G to C. Okay? So like I said before, this is a very good exercise to practice that 5-to-1 relationship. And the best way to practice these, apart from this exercise, is to actually use them in songs that include that 5-to-1 relationship. So going back to the same examples, hallelujah, salvation and glory, right? So hallelujah. I actually think this is the exact voicings that they use in that record, right? So hallelujah, salvation, right? It's also a good way of practicing those passing chords, right? That secondary dominant can serve as a passing chord. In this case, I used 2 instances of the same voicing, okay? So hallelujah, going from the 1 to the 4, then from the 2 to the 5, 2 to the 5, salvation and glory, then 3 to 6, right? In this case, the 3 to the 6 wouldn't work exactly, right? Unless you make it minor, right? But this exercise was mostly for major because of that tension and release, okay? So again, Waymaker, or let's say Jireh. Jireh, you are enough, right there, 5-1. Jireh, you are enough, right? 1 to the 4. Oh, and I will be content in every, or something like this, right? In this case, I'm switching up the progression, going from the 4 to a flat 7, which is still that 5-1 relationship. In this case, we would do something like this. And I will be content in every circumstance, right? Something like that. But the point is that you can use this exercise or this different voicing in every 5 or dominant 5-to-1 relationship or interval. Okay, so hopefully this lesson is of good use to you, and hopefully you're able to take something out and be able to apply it to different songs or different situations. Okay, God bless.